Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Hello and welcome to this video. We are going back into the role of Hunter S. Thompson, another installment of Kingdom of Fear. So without further ado, let's get into this one.
They know how many nocturnal beasts are down there looking for food. Foxes, coyotes, wildcats, bloodthirsty dogs on the prowl. And the only animal that can get them when they're perched up high is one of those huge meat-eating owls with night vision that can swoop down and pounce on anything that moves.
Okay, you gotta... peacocks are going to be peacocks, but, peacocks can be annoying.
From a water rat to a healthy young sheep. My own peacocks wander wildly during the day, but at night they come back into their own warm cage. Every once in a while they will miss curfew and decide to roost in a tree or on top of a telephone pole. And that is what happened last week.
Yeah, chickens do the same thing. Yeah, gotta they're not as pretty, and they're far from the intelligence level of a peacock. Not that peacocks are super intelligent or anything, but they do the same thing. You got to kind of watch them.
It was not a lightning ball that blacked out my house, but a male peacock that stepped on a power line and caused a short circuit that burned him to a cinder and blew half my electrics.
And I've seen that. That happens quite commonly out in the country with the indigenous turkey buzzards and some of the bigger raptors that we have flying around here.
The power came back, but the bird did not. It was fried like a ball of bacon. We couldn't even eat it. That tragedy occurred at halftime.
And to be honest with you, peacocks are good eating. They're a pretty bird to look at, but they're also a really good bird to put into your stomach.
So let the record stand corrected. Sorry. I have consulted with many lawyers on the Loathsome case, which gets uglier every time I look at it.
Which, I don't know what the side trip into the world of Hunter S. Thompson is peacocks. But I think there's this, it's anecdotal and plays out later.
I don't do this very often. Never, in fact. But this case is such an outrage that it haunts me and gives me bad dreams at night. I am not a criminal lawyer.
With all the stuff that I've read about Hunter S. Thompson, it seems to me that it would take a whole lot to give that man a bad dream.
But I have what might be called a very strong background in the criminal justice system, and many of my friends and associates are widely known as the best legal minds in that cruel and deadly business.
I don't know about his lawyer team. Well, the records show that he had good lawyers, and a lot of the law enforcement that actually went after Thompson was really petty. But he went through a lot. His life is just a interesting ball of crazy.
It is no place for amateurs, and even seasoned professionals can make mistakes that are often fatal. The system can grind up the innocent as well as the guilty, and that is what I believe happened to 20-year-old Loathsome.
And yeah, that is a case worth looking up and doing your own exploration, and it's interesting how certain things were just overlooked and certain things were made up and certain things were just retroactively applicable.
Who was unjustly found guilty of murder and sent to prison for the rest of her life without parole. In all my experience with courts and crimes and downright evil behavior by the law and the sometimes criminal cops who enforce it, this is the worst and most reprehensible miscarriage of justice I've ever encountered. And that covers a lot of rotten things.
Yeah, the movie National Treasure, I think it's the first one. There's an exchange between two of the characters, and the cop in the talking to the main character, Nicolas Cage's character, tells him somebody has to go to jail. And that's the premise of our legal system. Somebody has to go to jail. In fact, the county sheriff's department, if they get called out and respond to something, somebody's getting a ticket. Doesn't matter what's going on, doesn't matter what's really, what's happening, because they rolled out, somebody's going to get a ticket. And they don't care who, or they don't care why, but there's going to be a reason found for the issuance of a ticket. That's just the way law enforcement in America works.
Including a few close calls of my own, which might easily have gone the other way if not for the help of some hammerhead lawyers who came to my aid when I was in desperate trouble. I learned a lot about karma in those moments, and one thing that sticks with me is a quote from Edmund Burke that says, "The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing."
And that is a very powerful quote. Just like the quote at the beginning of this particular chapter, I think it was in the beginning of the last video.
That is what got me into the Loathsome case, and that is why I will stay in it until this brutal wrong is righted. That is also why the first contribution to the Loathsome Defense Fund came from Gerald Lefcourt of New York, then the president of the National Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers.
Yeah, this, like I said in one of the, I believe it's the last video, that I vaguely remember this case. Then I had read this book, and first time in like 2010, 2011, I want to say, and did the research, started looking into the case because it intrigued me, and it's just really interesting that of the mental hoops that law enforcement jumped through in this case.
"This is not going to be easy," he said with a wry smile. "But what the hell? Count me in." Indeed, it is no small trick to get a convicted cop killer out of prison. But it will be a little easier in this case, because Liesl no more killed a cop than I did. She was handcuffed in the backseat of a Denver police car when the cop was murdered in cold blood by a vicious skinhead who then allegedly shot himself in the head and left the DA with nobody to punish for the murder. Except Liesl. February 5th, 2001.
Yeah, like I said, this is a case that is, and I'm gonna probably say this again and again through this video, is I would highly recommend going and researching this case on your own, just because it's one of those things that opens your eyes to a lot of things.
The felony murder law. Don't let this happen to you. I don't think that people across the board necessarily identify with Loathsome as much as, God help them, they might identify with me. I've often frankly thought that Liesel's case is possibly the worst case I've ever decided to get involved in. We've got a convicted cop killer. Help. It doesn't matter who she is. The few real facts in the case that were and have been and remain evident, as opposed to the avalanche of hate crime propaganda.
Yeah, that's another thing. And even in this day and age, law enforcement's guilty about generating hate propaganda to get a conviction.
And off the skinheads hysteria that came with the conviction, along with the clear violations in the court record and the police procedures at the time of the crime, are this. Somebody got killed. We know that. 2 people came out of there dead. Beyond the vicious political circumstances surrounding Liesel's case, we've got the vicious skinhead, Matthias Jaenig, and the cop, Bruce Vanderjagt, and Liesel, the supposed perpetrator.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and call this video good here so we don't wind up with a, huge length video because of time and the details Thompson goes into in this case. So I hope everyone's doing good, having fun, and remember that on the weekends I do a Welcome to Night Vale, the entire full episode, and that should do one Sunday and one Saturday and one Sunday. So until next time, people, be a good human, be good to other humans. Peace.
Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?